in the execution of important projects such as the hospital, which is worth more than 29,000 million, where for the first time in history we believe that we will have a good hospital in less than a year and a half, with all the equipment and habilitation areas, as well as a new basketball court downtown, scholarship projects, housing projects that are important for the department.
The governor of the island also indicated that he expects a prompt decision from the Assembly, either positive or negative, on his government's proposed addition.
Any further explanation, information that should be provided as many times as it is necessary. The important thing is that the addition is approved and that a report is issued, whether it is a positive or negative report, but a decision is issued. What I do aspire is that a report comes out so that we may make legal decisions according to the regulations of the rules of the Assembly to see how we can achieve this approval.
In the meantime, the heads of the different offices continue to present the deputies their proposal for budget additions after the extension required by the departmental Duma.
And after the complaint filed by Mission Archipelago Oversight Group to the Archipelago Foundation before the prosecution office, the journalistic team spoke with the executive director of the foundation to know their point of view.
Richard Martinez, General Director of the Mission Archipelago Oversight Group, which is in liquidation, denounced the Archipelago Foundation before the Prosecution Office for alleged irregularities in the management of donations that have come throughout the foundation to be used in the reconstruction of Old Providence after the passage of Oyota. In response to this, the Prosecutor Office replied in a letter that they did not find any evidentiary material regarding these accusations. Erlida Arroyo, Executive Director of Archipelago, announced that they were not formally notified about the issue.
No hemos sido notificados de manera oficial de
We have not been officially notified of this event by the prosecutor's office. However, we have seen the complaint through networks, and we are open to provide information to the community. What we have understood from this complaint is that we have allocated resources for another purpose. However, what we did in the beginning was to consult with other organizations and sit at a working table with the government and with the community. We built the lines in which we were going to intervene in Old Providence. Within it is the line of community social infrastructure, and that is why we decided to invest in these centers.
The executive director also stated that on the foundation webpage it is possible to find all the information about the resources.
En nuestra página web de la fundación tenemos colgada en nuestra rendición de cuenta donde los recursos que hemos recibido incluso.
On our foundation's website, we have posted our accountability report and the resources we have received. We even have the second by second of the resources that have come to the foundation. We always have this on the website. That is why people learn how many resources the foundation has received, because we have always done it with open doors to the community.
The microphone of this news agency are open to know the statements of the representative of the Mission Archipelago Oversight Group.
And this afternoon, there was a collapse on the road located on the ring road in the area of Sun Bay. During the small collapse, there were no injuries or major material damages. It should be noted that the National Institute of Roads in VIAS, responsible for this stretch of the road, apparently made a presence at the scene of this incident. This news agency will keep track of the information provided by the corresponding entities to know what happened and the action plan in terms of fixing the road. And with the return of the family welfare early childhood groups to the presence-based modality, the institution delivered a report on this reactivation process to this modality.
The Colombian Institute of Family Welfare San Andres headquarters delivered a report on the total number of service units that have returned to the presence-based modality on the island in order to promote the integral development of children in the department. The regional director, Juan Carlos Bonilla, gave details on the return to the presence-based modality of the early childhood groups in the archipelago.
La gran buena noticia es que ya estamos en la presencialidad.
The great and good news is that we are already doing on-site meetings. We have over 50% of the 1,824 children we serve attending in this presence-based modality. We have 4 child development centers or CDIs with an on-site care from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The C-Color CDI, the Esmeralda CDI, and the 2 remaining CDIs in Old Providence. This is great news. Out of 25, we have 9 community mothers that are attending the on-site meetings, and from the family unit, we have 18 units already attending on-site.
Bonilla said he expects that September, all the service units will be in present via modality, and he invites all parents to continue using the service provided by the CDIs and community mothers on the island.
And today was held a workshop for prior consultation with the community action boards with the Rizal people and island communities as a whole.
In the workshop held with the Community Actions Board, important points were established in the favor of the Rizal community. The central theme of the Rizal Community Actions Board is the update of Decree 012 of 2013 that favors the Rizal community. The Government Secretary, Hyan Howard, highlighted the importance of this approach and updated the policy.
The differential approach for the Rizal community is that they will have some degree of benefits in the presentation of social projects and as productive investment projects.
This new update is expected to come into effect within the 3 next months after the departmental government meets with all the community action boards and after the project passes through the House of Representatives and is established as a departmental ordinance. This update will bring benefit to the Rizal community.
It's a long time that we have so many situations with the Hurricane Iota, with all the houses that many of the houses that blow up, and government don't put the real attention on us.
In this way, the departmental governor's office and the community action boards are updated with direct and effective help to the community of the island.
And regarding the recent warnings by the authorities about the increase in rainfall and electrical activity, the DMR also informed about the meteorological and marine conditions expected during the next few days.
The DMR, through a press release, warned about the reactivation of rainfall in wide sectors of the Caribbean coast and the archipelago of San Andres and Old Providence as a result of the activity of the intertropical confluence zones, which will cause in the next 24 to 48 hours an incoming tropical wave with abundant associated humidity. According to the most recent report from the National Hurricane Center, it warns of the transit over the Caribbean Sea of a tropical wave from the east with abundant associated convection and a 50% probability of cyclonic development within the next 5 days. This wave is currently located over 68 degrees west latitude and extends from north to south from 20.0 degrees latitude. Its movement to the west reports an average speed of 10 knots, which translates into 18.5 kilometers per hour. This system, in association with the intertropical confluence zones, has contributed to the activation of the precipitation in wide sectors of the eastern Caribbean and the South American North Coast. Likewise, alterations in the direction and height of the waves are expected following the existing disturbance caused by the interaction between the high pressure belt of the North Atlantic and the Darien low pressure system located on the central coast of the Colombian Caribbean.
Yes, good evening, Lisa, to you and to all our viewers. As I was telling you in the previous broadcast, we are back directly from Old Providence, doing our best to stay connected and continue reporting with the most important news from the municipality. Yesterday, the mayor's office inaugurated the Play Tent in Old Town. This is the 5th space of protection for children where they can play, develop their creativity, and improve their psychomotor skills.
With the support of Aldeas Infantiles, the National Army, and the First Lady, the childhood team of the Municipal Secretariat of Social Development inaugurated the Ludic Tent of Old Town, a space dedicated to children protection and teaching through games.
It's a protection space where we guarantee that the children are well. We guarantee their rights, that they are protected during the time they are in this space. It is also the management or occupation of their free time in a healthy way.
Tent workers will help develop the artistic, the creativity, and the psychomotor skills of the assistants.
Juegos, rondas tradicionales.
Games, traditional ring plays, everything that deals with board games, field games, and the creative part. We're also going to work on handicrafts in this tent. Children from 6 to 12 years old can attend.
The First Lady also thanked for this effort.
Para esta administración es...
It is priority for this administration the issue of education of our children, and what better than these spaces where children can learn by playing through workshops and games. So a special thanks to Aldeas Infantiles, to the National Army, and the entire team of early childhood of the Mayor's office.
There are ludic tents in Batham House, Jones Pine, 2 in Old Town, and 1 in Santa Catalina.
The National Hurricane Center reports the formation of a tropical wave in the Caribbean Sea, which is responsible for the recent wind currents and rainfall.
Since early morning hours, the municipality has registered sporadic winds and rains. According to the last report, it's due to the formation of a tropical wave in the Caribbean Sea.
According
to the latest report from the U.S. National Hurricane Center, which constantly monitors weather conditions in the area, at this moment there is a tropical wave in the center of the Caribbean Sea, which is producing these winds, currents, and rainfall in the area.
The tropical wave will be kept under constant watch in case another weather condition develops due to the season.
Ya tiene un 60% de probabilidad de ocurrencia.
It already has a 60% probability of occurrence. This indicates that there is a cyclonic potential. It does not mean that a hurricane is going to form, but that due to the season in which we are, there is a probability of increased winds, increased waves, increased rainfalls in the area.
Among the recommendations is to be alert to the reports issued by the port captaincy.
Stay within the permitted area, within the coral reef in the case of Old Providence, so that in the event of an increase in wind, they can return to port without any problem. Before setting sail, check the state of the engines and the state of the minimum safety elements.
By Thursday, we will have a clear picture of the development of this weather condition.
Y a esta hora de la noche seguimos con Víctor Fusalva y las noticias deportivas.
The section of Old Providence and
Hello, here are the best sports of the islands. San Andres Football Club strengthens in third place of the interclubs of the 17 soccer. There was a good performance by San Andres Football Club in the second round of the interclub tournament, where the island team had 2 wins and 1 loss in this round. The Islanders defeated CJW 2-1, Deportivo La Coruña 5-0, and lost 1-0 against Seguros La Equidad to rescue the third place in the standings with 21 points, only 3 points behind second place Seguros La Equidad and only 5 points behind Santa Fe, which is in first place. The island team had 6 wins, 3 ties, and 2 losses, with 20 goals in favor and 7 against.
We've planned for 9 points. It was not possible, but we got 6 points. That ratifies us in third place in the standings. Now we have 3 very important matches coming up against Santa Fe, Elite and 14, where we have to ratify the classification, and from there we have the sudden death and try to fight to reach the final.
Here is a word of support from La Gambeta Estrada, one of the icons of Colombian football. The reactivation of basketball causes pride and satisfaction to inhabitants of the sector of Rancho. After a long break in basketball due to the pandemic, the basketball tournament that takes place in Rancho caused a positive reaction among the inhabitants of the sector, who come not only to play and enjoy the games, but also to taste the gastronomy and listen to typical music of the island.
I feel very special here to come and see reactivating basketball down in this sector of Hofi, what we call Rancho, where we start to play our first basketball, and it have a good privilege for me to see our culture. We have good music, we have food, typical food here by this field that we're playing, And I would like to invite everybody to come enjoy themselves and eat some good food and hear some good music and typical things from this section of St. Andrews.
It is good to see the community integrating with the sport, culture, and gastronomy of the archipelago as stated by Jesse.